Io. If Jupiter had a problem child, it'd be Io, the moon that looks like a mad painter's palette, and it fully embraces its eccentricity of yellow, red, white, black, and green shades. Calling it volcanically active is more of an understatement, as Io is a non-stop lava party with over 400 volcanoes, and at least a handful are erupting right now, not little burps either. We're talking lava fountains taller than Mount Everest. Why? Because Io's caught in a cosmic tug-of-war. Jupiter pulls on it, Europa and Ganymede pull on it. It's like the moon version of a stress ball, and all that squeezing heats up its insides until they explode literally in the form of volcanoes. You might as well forget oceans or icy cliffs, since Io doesn't do water. Any ice that even dared show up got boiled off ages ago, leaving behind a surface that looks like a crayon box had a meltdown. Hyperion. Hyperion looks like someone tried to sculpt a moon out of old coral, got bored halfway through, and then flung it into space. It's Saturn's weirdest rock, an irregular, tumbling, sponge-brained oddball that refuses to act like any respectable celestial body. For starters, it doesn't spin like a normal moon. It tumbles, randomly, chaotically, like a drunken gymnast mid-cartwheel. You'd have better luck playing darts on a trampoline than landing on this moon, and then there's the surface, which is deeply cratered. These holes aren't just shallow potholes, they're dramatic, shadowy pits that look like something tried to suck the moon dry. And this is all because Hyperion's gravity is about as strong as a soda can's willpower. Stuff hits it, compresses it, and then the debris just floats off into space like, nope, not sticking around. Its density is laughably low, meaning it's more void than solid. Combine that with a reddish tint and spongy texture, and you've got a cosmic loofah doing acrobatics in Saturn's orbit. Triton. Triton is that one kid who joins the group project halfway through, spins the whiteboard around, and starts writing backwards. Neptune's largest moon doesn't orbit like everyone else. It moves in reverse. And that rebellious orbit is a giant red flag. Triton wasn't born here. Most likely, it got yanked in from the Kuiper Belt like an adopted troublemaker with a mysterious past, and it hasn't stopped being weird since. Despite being way out in the solar deep freeze, Triton's still geologically alive. It's got ice volcanoes, and its surface is covered in frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide, giving it the look of a frosted-over crime scene. Scientists also think there's a whole ocean hidden under the ice. Yep, a secret underground water world, just chilling beneath all that frozen nitrogen. Oh, and it has an atmosphere that might be getting warmer. Why? No one knows. Triton just shrugs, throws on a trench coat, and keeps orbiting the wrong way. And while Triton's off being weird and mysterious, you could do the same by hitting that subscribe button. Join the orbit of strange. Miranda. Miranda looks like a monster moon that deserves a spot in Hotel Transylvania. Nicknamed the Frankenstein moon, this lumpy little satellite of Uranus looks like it was built from all kinds of space leftovers stitched together wrongly. Miranda's surface is a chaotic mess with craters crashing into canyons, crashing into ridges. It's got terrain that looks ancient sitting right next to patches that seem freshly unwrapped. One minute you're looking at bumpy plains, the next you're staring into a canyon deeper than the Grand Canyon. That canyon is called Verona Rupes, and it drops 12 miles straight down. That's a fall so brutal you could scream for 10 minutes and still have time left to regret your life choices. Scientists think Miranda might have been torn apart and glued back together, like a cosmic Humpty Dumpty. That theory tracks because the surface looks like a tectonic jigsaw puzzle with a grudge. There are even features called coronae, giant oval patterns you won't find anywhere else in the solar system. Enceladus. At first glance, Enceladus looks like a boring snowball moon. Small, smooth, and blindingly white, like someone dropped a giant breath mint in Saturn's orbit. But under that frosty shell is total madness. This moon's got a global ocean sloshing beneath its icy crust, and it vents that hidden sea into space through massive geysers. Literal water jets blast out of cracks called tiger stripes. It's like the moon is constantly crying into space. Enceladus is also shiny, ridiculously shiny. It reflects light like it's auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. Scientists even spotted a weird dark patch once, and then it just vanished, like the moon hit undo on a space zit. Add Saturn's tidal squeeze heating its core, and Enceladus is basically a cracked snow globe with a potentially life-harboring sea inside. Kalisto. Kalisto looks like it's been in a bar fight with the entire asteroid belt and lost every round. This battered moon of Jupiter wears its wounds proudly, with a surface so cratered and beat up, it's basically the moon equivalent to a leather jacket held together by memories and duct tape. It's the most cratered object in the solar system, and its surface hasn't changed much in about 4 billion years. That's older than your grandparents' conspiracy theories. Kalisto doesn't bother with volcanoes or tectonics. It just sits there, taking its hits like a stoic champion. But here's the twist. Underneath all that ancient wreckage, there might be a salty subsurface ocean. While the surface looks geologically dead, the inside might be quietly stewing like a mystery soup pot. And where there's water, even way under ice, there's a chance for life. It also has a whisper-thin atmosphere, mostly carbon dioxide with a dash of oxygen, like a cocktail no one ordered. And unlike some of Jupiter's other moons, Kalisto hangs out far enough from the planet to dodge the worst of its radiation, making it a more chilled-out contender for alien life. Hapotus. Hapotus is what happens when the universe can't decide between day and night. One half of the Saturnian moon is pitch black, like it bathed in chimney soot. The other half, bright and icy, like a snowball fresh from the freezer. Side by side, they make Hapotus look like a cosmic yin-yang or a moon caught mid-makeover. But the weird doesn't stop there. Along its equator is a massive ridge, like a mountain belt that wraps around the moon's belly like a hula hoop made of rock. The thing is so tall, it makes Hapotus look like a giant walnut with tectonic stretch marks. It also orbits way out from Saturn, at a tilt that screams, "I do my own thing." Scientists still aren't sure what caused its dramatic two-tone face. Some say dark dust from another moon got stuck on one side. Others blame sunlight melting one hemisphere differently, or maybe it's just being moody. Whatever the cause, Hapotus is the kind of moon that refuses to pick a lane. It's part coal, part snow cone, part mountain, and all mystery. Phobos. Phobos is basically Mars's clingiest ex. It orbits so close to the planet that it's being slowly pulled in for a fatal hug. At just 11 kilometers across, this lumpy, potato-shaped moon is tiny, battered, and straight-up haunted by its destiny. It zips around Mars in under 8 hours, faster than the planet itself spins. That means if you stood on the Martian surface, you'd see Phobos rise in the west and set in the east, twice a day. Talk about overachieving. But here's the thing. Phobos is falling. Literally, it's spiraling closer to Mars by about 2 meters every century. Eventually, it'll either crash into the surface or break apart and form a mini ring. It's not a matter of if, just when. Hence the nickname, the Doomed Moon. Its surface is scarred with craters and deep grooves, like it's been through a lifetime of stress and panic attacks. The biggest one, Stickney Crater, takes up half the dang moon. Now that is more survival story than Dent. Europa. Europa looks calm on the outside, just a smooth, frozen moon orbiting Jupiter like it's minding its business. But beneath that icy shell, there might be a global ocean under the surface, with twice the water of all Earth's oceans combined. It's more like a planet-sized aquarium in disguise. This ocean stays liquid due to tidal heating. Jupiter's gravity yanks and stretches Europa like a stress toy. This then generates enough internal heat to keep the water sloshing under the ice. No sunlight needed, just constant cosmic yoga. Then there's the chaos terrain. Huge patches of the surface look like a jigsaw puzzle someone tried to solve during an earthquake. Add in possible chemical reactions from the seafloor, and you've got all the ingredients for life. Microbial, fishy, or who knows what. If aliens exist in our solar system, Europa is high on the suspect list, and NASA agrees. The Europa Clipper mission will zoom by this frosty moon dozens of times, sniffing for signs of life hiding beneath the ice. Karm. Karm started its weird stint when it decided to orbit backwards. Then, while most moons follow the rules and orbit in sync with their planet's rotation, Karm said, nah, and started moonwalking the other way. It's one of Jupiter's retrograde, irregular moons, and frankly, it's got a whole crew just like it. It was discovered in 1938, but had a brief identity crisis as another moon before finally being named in 1975. Karm is the namesake of the Karm group, which is a chaotic little gang of odd-shaped moons all orbiting in similar tilted, distant, and defiant paths. It's like Jupiter's outer suburbs are full of rebellious space punks doing donuts around the gas giant. Karm itself isn't round or polished. It's a lumpy space rock, possibly the leftover shard of something that got shattered and captured long ago. Its orbit is weird, its shape is weird, and it doesn't even spin with the planet it orbits. It's practically screaming, I wasn't born here. Nereid. Nereid doesn't orbit Neptune, it ghosts it, then shows up weeks later like nothing happened. With one of the most eccentric orbits in the entire solar system, this moon swings between super close and ridiculously far, ranging from 1.35 million to nearly 10 million kilometers away. That's not an orbit, it's a cosmic game of hard to get. Discovered in 1949, Nereid was Neptune's second known moon, and it's one of the larger ones too, but for something that big, it sure likes keeping its distance, sometimes circling so far out, it practically needs a return ticket to come back. Why is it so weird, though? Some scientists think Nereid wasn't born here. It might be a captured object that wandered too close to Neptune and got snagged. Others believe it used to behave normally until Triton crashed the party and gravitationally wrecked the place. Voyager 2 snapped a few blurry photos in the 80s, but Nereid was too far to give us much detail. To this day, its surface remains a mystery, just like its past. Titan. If Saturn's largest moon had a dating profile, it would say, looks like Earth, smells like farts, rains liquid methane. Titan is the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere. Not just some wispy gas layer, we're talking full-on haze, rich in nitrogen, with clouds that literally rain hydrocarbons. On Titan, rivers, lakes, and seas exist, but just not made of water. They're filled with liquid methane and ethane, which is like Earth's water cycle, but straight from a mad chemist's fever dream. And yet, the landscape is eerily Earth-like. It has sand dunes, river valleys, and even weather patterns, just made of chemicals that would kill you on contact. Adding to the strangeness are magic islands that randomly appear and disappear, possibly gas bubbles, iceberg mirages, or Titan just messing with our senses. It's also brimming with organic molecules, making it a hotspot for alien life theorists, though any life here would be very non-human. Pan. If someone dropped a ravioli into Saturn's rings, you'd end up with Pan, a bizarre little moon that looks like a flying saucer, a walnut, or an alien pastry, depending on your mood. At just 22 miles wide, Pan is tiny by moon standards, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in weird. It orbits smack in the middle of the Encke Gap, a clean slice in Saturn's A ring about 200 miles wide. And it's not just loitering there. Pan's playing shepherd, using its gravity like a broom to keep the gap clear of ring particles. As it zips through the rings, it actually stirs up ripples along the edges, kind of like a speedboat carving waves on a very delicate lake. That flying saucer shape is actually real and not some illusion. Thanks to the buildup of ring materials along its equator, Pan has a literal ridge around its waistline, giving it that UFO meets dumpling silhouette. It was first spotted in Voyager images, but Cassini gave us a close-up that confirmed, yup, Saturn has a ravioli moon. S2004 S7. S2004 S7 sounds less like a moon and more like a military drone, and honestly, it acts like one. This tiny 3-kilometer-wide rock is part of Saturn's Norse group, a gang of irregular moons with retrograde, tilted, and downright antisocial orbits. It was discovered in 2004 by a team of sky-snooping legends and promptly filed under S2004 S7 because apparently giving names to rebellious space rocks is too much to ask. With an orbit tilted at 165 degrees and stretched out like taffy, it takes this little moon over 1,100 Earth days to make one awkward elliptical lap around Saturn. Scientists believe S2004 S7 didn't grow up here. It was likely a captured object, maybe a stray asteroid or rogue Kuiper Belt wanderer that drifted too close and got swallowed by Saturn's gravity like a bug into a bug zapper. It doesn't shape rings. It doesn't reflect much light. It doesn't even bother with a proper name. It just lurks way out there. 13 billion miles from Saturn, doing its weird little orbit with maximum mystery and minimal drama.